Hello, you're watching Dukascopy TV. Now, yesterday we saw the Bank of England hold its interest rates at its current low of 0.5%. We're here to bring you the latest expert view on UK data and the wider economy with research fellow at the National Institute of Economic and Social Research, Simon Kirby. Mr. Kirby, thanks for joining me. Now, let's just start by looking at the BOE's decision on interest rates that happened yesterday. New Governor Mark Carney's first month seems to have gone pretty well, and we've seen a gradual recovery in the UK economy, even if it's been a little on the fragile side. What's the next step for the BOE, and how can it help cement a more robust recovery?
First off, yesterday's Bank of England decision, so no change in policy, was not a surprise. Markets did expect that. The major event now with regards to monetary policy is next Wednesday's inflation report presentation, where the Bank of England will also be giving their announcement on what they think with regards to forward guidance for interest rates and an intermediate threshold to cement that forward guidance, which everyone is expecting to be an unemployment rate target of some kind in a similar fashion to the United States Federal Reserve. So that seems to be the major approach of the Bank of England. The thing to highlight is that this kind of policy tool will not engender a robust recovery in the UK economy. It may support demand to a small extent, but it won't bring about UK economic recovery.
Do you think there needs to be perhaps a change in the Bank of England's monetary policy programme at all?
I think what we're ignoring in this is the potential for fiscal policy to be used to boost demand in the near term. And so what I'm thinking about is spending on net investment now. The government have highlighted that net investment spending on infrastructure is going to be an important component of policy, but that's for the longer term. More nearer-term spending on investment could have quite significant positive implications for the UK economy. I highlight fiscal policy because many people now do suggest that additional quantitative easing in the UK will probably have a marginal effect at best. And policies such as the Funding for Lending scheme, with their focus now on small to medium-sized enterprises, is pretty much the limit of what they can do with intervening in funding markets to try and stimulate lending to the real economy.
Mark Carney's rolled out a softly approach to some banks in the UK, allowing them to meet new regulatory standards. Is this the right thing to do? I
think they're probably doing this because they're worried about what the impact will be on the real economy, that banks will shrink their balance sheets if they're told to meet these leverage targets, the 3% leverage target, much more quickly, which is, it's about Nationwide, a Mutual and Barclays Bank who have been given until 2014 to meet the 3% target rather than at the end of this year, which is what Basel III requires. Now, I do think that maybe there could be more stress on raising additional capital to meet these targets, and therefore have done it much more quickly than is the current policy.
Now, cash spending remains pretty feeble, as does growth in wages. The NIESR has just released new data projections for the weeks and months ahead. Do the figures show further signs of optimism for the UK economy?
There has been some improvement in optimism amongst the business surveys in particular. Businesses do seem to be a bit more optimistic. Consumer confidence has improved somewhat, although it's still well below its pre-crisis levels. We've revised up our forecast for this year and next, mainly on the back of increases in consumer spending. We're expecting growth of 1.2% this year, 1.8% this year. These kind of growth rates, although more positive than we've been previously forecasting, still below that 2% per annum potential growth rate we think the UK economy has within it, and so really we can't talk about economic recovery just yet.
Some analysts are pointing to definite proof that the UK economy is gathering pace after British manufacturing expanded the fastest in over 2 years, jumping to 54.6 in July. Do you agree?
Oh, certainly. I do think there's economic momentum gaining. We need to compare where we are to where we've just come from. So we've just come from a period since the second half of 2010 to the end of 2012 where effectively the UK economy was stagnant. We're now growing, or we're growing. The latest figures coming out of the Office for National Statistics about the quarterly rates of growth have been quite positive recently, and we do expect some of this momentum to continue through, especially into next year. But although it's economic growth, it's not a robust recovery as we experienced after the recession of the 1990s, the recession of the 1980s, and also the period after the recovery from the Great Depression. So although the growth is welcome, I think we do need to get it into some context. It's not really a robust recovery yet.
OK, sadly we've run out of time, but do click back and check out our other interviews today, and I'll be taking a closer look at Brazil's economy and its currency, the real. Goodbye.